Nancy Pelosi is facing a challenge from members of her own party in her quest to become Speaker of the House, but she's getting support from an unlikely source, President Trump.
I like Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she's tough and she's smart, but she deserves to be Speaker. And now they're playing games with her. There's nobody else should be Speaker. If she needs any votes, if she asks me, I will give her the votes to put her over the top.
Democrats won't be voting until after Thanksgiving, so does the timing spell trouble for Pelosi? Here now to debate is political analyst Rochelle Ritchie and conservative radio talk show host Chandelle Summer. Thank you both for joining us. Rochelle, I want to start with you. What do you make of what you just heard from President Trump?
Well, you know, I have to wonder exactly why the president is supporting Pelosi, and I wonder what is in it for the president. I mean, this doesn't really seem like someone he would want to support. I mean, she's a powerhouse as a speaker, and she's a powerhouse for the Democratic Party as well as far as raising funds. But I will say that there is some risk, obviously, with ousting Pelosi. I mean, she has the experience, she has the ability, like I said, to raise money. But I think that she does not recognize who her supporters are. And when you think about this, black women have been the base, the backbone of the Democratic Party, and yet we have not had a seat at the leadership table ever. 1789. That's how long it's never happened for African American women since 1789. So I think that it's time for Democrats to stop using the votes of black people while ignoring our voice.
Chandelle, so far about 20 Democrats oppose Nancy Pelosi. Who knows what happens as this draws closer. What do you make of it?
Good morning, Jillian. I think that what you have right now is a little bit of a coup, but not enough to really overtake Nancy Pelosi. They would need about 28 votes to overturn the speakership and have it go to someone else. Right now, there's been a challenger, Marcia Fudge from Ohio, who is a black woman who is challenging Nancy Pelosi, but it's probably just an attempt to obtain a better committee assignment or some type of concessions from Nancy Pelosi, and political favors being what they are.
Yeah, Rochelle, do you think part of the problem is there's no other real clear frontrunner to be able to go against her?
I think that's true. I mean, right now we really don't have a contender, like a strong contender that we're seeing come out. But I think that after Thanksgiving, a lot of people, members will make their decision on whether or not they're going to run. And Marcia Fudge is one of those, as well as I believe Hakeem Jeffries, who is running for chair as well. So look, I think that, Pelosi is a powerhouse in the Democratic Party, but, the president supporting her just makes me wonder why? What is in it for him? It almost seems as if he's supporting her to get her out because, the president is not very popular, obviously, with Democrats, especially the newcomers that came in. So it seems that him supporting her is a way to actually push her out, which could ultimately end up hurting the party in 2020 when it comes to raising funds.
Now, look, none of us know what the president's thinking. Obviously, we hear what he says. I want to ask both of you this question. Chandelle, I want to start with you. I wonder, again, just a question, if having Nancy Pelosi as the front runner, as the Speaker of the House, is going to put more of a rift in the Democratic Party, because look, a lot of people do oppose her. A lot of people don't want her in that role, but because there is no one else right now, do you think that could potentially cause more problems?
I think that the rift in the Democratic Party is not only the gender rift and the black women in the Democratic Party wanting someone else, but it's also generational. She's 78 years old. The other two members of the leadership, Steny Hoyer and James Clyburn, are also both in their late 70s. So there's a generational rift, and the fact that they all the new members of the House ran on this idea of change, they represent sort of the establishment, just like the Republicans had the same issue last week with the election of Kevin McCarthy and Jim Jordan's challenge to Kevin McCarthy. You have the same thing going on within the Democratic Party. But it would be so short-sighted for the Democratic Party to ignore the fact that Nancy Pelosi has been in power for this long. She's part of the reason they're in power now.
You can't deny her experience.
For President Trump to support her tells me that he wants another poster child for the next election to say this is what you're getting with the Democratic Party. He'd probably rather have Maxine Waters, Speaker of the House, but Nancy Pelosi is a nice second choice.
We got to run, so I just want to give Rochelle the last couple seconds here. Rochelle, if the Democrats can't come together on this, do you think that's going to ultimately cause more problems?
I think it could cause more problems, so I think they definitely have to unify. And if it's Pelosi, if she's the one that has the votes, then they have to get behind her, because I don't think causing more division is going to be good for them in 2020.
All right. Thank you both for your time. We appreciate it. We're coming right back.